We have a 15-year-old, an 11-year-old, and an almost 9-year-old. So we've been in the school system for quite some time. In 2017, I became a substitute with the school. And so not only as a mom, but I've seen the inside of the school as well. Well, in February of this year, my fifth grader went to school. The teacher told him in class, called him out by name in writing, and told him that just because your mother helped you with your writing assignment might make it easier, but it doesn't make you a better writer. When my child told me that his teacher made him feel stupid in front of everybody, it broke my heart. I mean, I cried. I was heartbroken for him. And then the next day, our second grader was repeatedly pushed in the hallway and hit in the neck. When they got inside of the classroom, our second grader was choked or strangled by another child. The following Monday, the same child, our kid, hurt two more children. I started researching different forms of education. And that's when I ran into MOCAP and started researching that. I looked at all the vendors and realized that there's only one vendor that offers a full course curriculum with teachers. So then I got in contact with MOVA, all by surprise, because I didn't really know what I was doing, you know. The superintendent, he first denied me on the phone. He told me that the reason that he was denying was because there was a deadline for enrollment. It says in their policy that the superintendent has the right to override that decision. He told me that MOVA was just trying to take my money. And I said, well, what do you mean MOVA is trying to take my money? They're not trying to take my money. They're trying to use the money that each child is allowed for attending a public school, and they're going to use that money, and then you all still keep a pretty good percentage of that money as well. And then he said, well, you're right. They're trying to take our money. COVID happened, and nobody's in school. And Mexico dropped the ball a lot. I mean, there were so many parents, you know, talking about how they wasn't getting any education really, you know, after the COVID. MOVA took us in. They said, we're going to let you start anyway. So on April the 6th, we started with MOVA. And the two boys did about 7 weeks of education with MOVA. It was amazing, the difference. There was such improvement in just 7 weeks. He had great teachers that would put him in groups that needed more help or whatnot and explain things. But he also had me, you know, a learning coach. My biggest priority is my children. Clearly, MOVA is not about money. MOVA is about a child's education, because they took us in, they sent us everything, and they're not even going to get paid for the last 7 weeks. I'm so glad that the boys can be at home and not have to worry about the other children or staff or anything else picking at them, picking on them, belittling them, instead of empowering their strengths. The new school choice is a great, great thing. Us parents know our children, and we know what they need, and we know what they're lacking, and we know how they learn. We know how to communicate with them, because we've been with them for quite some time, you know. And virtual education is really a good thing. Yes, it's a hard transition for a minute, but it's not that bad. And with MOVA, we actually have teachers. Next year, when our son goes to junior high, he'll have 4 different teachers for each subject, and he will meet with them for an hour at least a day. There's so much support there. We have counselors, we have principals, technical support. There is support groups for parents that's already been doing this for a while, and hey, you don't know how to do this, so they can help you out pretty quickly. Hey, if you're really feeling that this is something that you want to do, then faith always overcomes fear. And so if you step into it with faith and you're in it for a good reason, and you want to watch your children excel and succeed, then this is for you. I just think that as parents, we really need to kind of dominate for our children. If at any time you feel like your children's education is in jeopardy or they are physically threatened, then we as parents need to step in, because we cannot allow our children to continue in an environment like that. You are going to get pushback, but you're going to get pushback from the schools. And I think that the reason is, in our brick and mortar schools, it seems like our children are numbers. It seems like our children are numbers for their test scores, numbers for their income, and their education is on the back burner. Our schools, our brick and mortar schools, are supposed to be a community. But if you do not have safety and education within that community, there's no room for progress. And as soon as the parents really figure out that they do have options and that they have choices and they have the choice of school and they have the choice to empower their kids and educate the way that they want it to be, the kids can get what they need out of it without the violence and the interruptions and the bullying and the things like that. I think that it's really going to take over. I hope that it does. I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for the school choice. I'm really thankful for MOVA and the virtual education that we can do, and we can be at home and we can be safe.